We'll get started in just 1 second, guys. Thanks so much. All right, excellent. Dun, 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 dun. All right, thanks for joining us on a Wednesday night at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. during summertime. Probably summertime's about over. So we're getting back into the swing of trading. So thank you. We're going to try to keep doing this every week in the nighttime for people who can't make it in the during the hours of the market open to do the trade review. So please send your trades to the off topic if you have any, and we'll look at them as a team. Adam, oh, that's the place I want to go to. I've never been to Florida, actually. One place I want to. There we go. So yeah, send over your trades in the off-topic section if you got any from today. I will share my screen. And just remember, we want to look at it as a team. We have, small groups right now, as not a lot of people are aware of this, and they probably are done with trading for the day after doing it all day. So we'll see if we can get traction with this and if people want to join. But we'll continue to do it as long as we got some people. So thank you. And there's a couple people watching on YouTube here. It's live on YouTube, and I'm curious. So to YouTube traders, is anyone watching this that's not part of our room? Because if we have time and if I don't have a lot of trades, I'm going to do something fun. And we're going to just try opening up a trade from one of you guys on YouTube if you're not a BBT member. And I'll just send you my email, and you'll just email me a trade. And then I'll pull it up here, and we'll look at it. And it'll be really fun. We'll ask some of our members to look at it also. I think that'll be really fun. And then Gary, once you post the trade in the off topic, talk in the main chat then. So I don't have to switch back and forth too much. Oh my goodness, I already see it. God, Gary, when I can see it, when I can see the, what's going on with that thing? That was weird. When I can see the trade instantly, I whipped out this chart. I was like, oh man, I know what he did. That's a good trade. What's up, Kurt? So, Gary, walk us through what you did on this one. And I'm not familiar, with Peter's class. It looks like a VWAP bounce, a VWAP rejection. Is that what it basically is? Yeah, I see it. I mean, waving up. Look at this gigantic engulfing 2-minute candle. Find the consolidation here. Goes back up. Little double bottom with a higher low. Hits the moving average. Goes back down. Tests the low. There's the real double bottom right there. People taking it for a long. Look at this double bottom. No new 2-minute low until right there. That people just did not want to short that after that. Goes up, and then it finds the rejection right there at these two, the 20 and the VWAP. You wait for it. So what did this X mean? Does this mean a VWAP rejection? Yeah, this is the X, like, is it just a mark for you that it rejected VWAP? Second time, awesome. Right, well, did it here, first time, second time, and then you caught it right here on the way down. So where was your stop? Gary? I need to watch that Workshop Wednesday, Gary. I really do, because this is a killer trade. This is an advanced trade for sure. It's a really great trade. Yep, blue is view at for sure, Adam. What's up, Ann? So yeah, Gary, when you entered here, where was your stop? Stop was above view up. Okay, so the stop was here. Now, how do you partial out? It looks like about a 1-to-1 or so, or at these moving averages. What was your partially out scaling out method? Okay, so you saw these as the potential support, so you were getting out at support, correct? Now, I don't know if Peter talked about this, but if you have a VWAP rejection, built within that is the idea of that's going to be the top for the for the near future, and that a bigger move down might be happening. Did he talk about that at all or not? So when I think about, Gary, how do stocks bust through the moving average resistance? They need something bigger. Okay, I'm not sure. So like, whoops, I had this epic pen. So Gary, you see like this 50 moving average? It must be the 50 on the 2. 1, rejection, 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 right? You see all that? Now how does it bust through? You have a real setup. Real 1 bottom, 2 bottom, couldn't even test the low, engulfing candle, bull flag. Now it finally can bust through that, and it almost did it right here too. Look, this basically had a chance right there. It didn't do it. Here it actually makes it, and it busts through the moving average finally. So now you have your VWAP play, the bounce here. I love that you partialed out right here. Something to consider is knowing that within this move, you're expecting it to go back down for a bigger move. So maybe hold a little bit of your position. Wow, Carlos, what's that's a name. That's a handful of a name. But yeah, Carlos, isn't that like an amazing... That could be in our class, Carlos, right? It was a really great entry. Really great partials. I mean, Gary, I'm being a little nitpicky. It's a perfect trade, but if you could have held a little bit for a break even or for a bigger leg down, then it would be like an A1 picture perfect. Everything is like, wow. Like, how long have you been trading, Gary? Like, it'd be like that. That was your first trade ever? Oh, wow. Do things like that every time. Good job, Gary. Great trade, Gary. It's fantastic. It's a real setup. You've got real risk. Now just work on that reward. That's all you got to do there. Anna asks, is it too risky to go long at the bottom at each bounce? Where do you mean, Ann? What bottom are you talking about? Aw, Carlos, I liked your other name, man. Okay, and I'm trying to all the reverse double bottom. Is it too risky to go long like right here? Is that what you're saying? Like at this point and at this point? Well, and it's risky. It's really risky. The only way you can do something like that is, number one, you realize you're very likely to get stopped out. Number two, you can't revenge trade when you are wrong. And number three, like, you need to be able to see the time and sales. To go long right there, banking on this being a double bottom, you must use time and sales to see the green buying come in. Because for that next candle to be engulfing and go up so strong, there has to be a ton of green buying. It can't do it. You can't see flashes of red and have it continue to go up, 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 up. So if you can see that and then have such a tight stop, which would still be right here. Okay, you'd get in somewhere like right there. You start to see the green buying. Your stop is right there. And now all of a sudden, the next step is to hold. Because if you're thinking this is a double bottom, that's when you hold for bigger than a 2-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 6-to-1. What if you saw the big candle and took this one? Wait, what do you mean? This one right here? What if you saw the big candle and took the second one up? Yeah, so like right here, you could take this as a great double bottom entry. But CN, let's be real. Like this is very similar to this. This could have been the double bottom. Look at this big engulfing. Look at this increasing volume. And you probably would have been stopped out unless you put it down here. And that's why if you look at a 5-minute chart, I bet the 5-minute chart would be more interesting to give more confirmation. So yeah, a 5-minute chart would be interesting here to see what happened at this part of the 5-minute versus this part of the 5-minute. But really, if I'm going to play this and I do a double bottom, I'd get it here or this mini little bull flag in. Really mini bull flag right there. Here. This is a tough play, but that's a teeny little bull flag. You go long either here at the break and you put your stop right here, and you've got killer risk to reward. That's a really hard trade in. Really, really hard to do at the very bottom. There's a lot going on there. But anyways, yeah, great trade, Gary. I'm going to tell YouTube traders one more time, and thanks, Zach, for saying that. If anyone's watching on YouTube, comment, and if we have time, it would be really fun to do one YouTube trade review where people in our chat can talk about it also if you're not a Bearable Traders member. So comment if you aren't a BBT member and you want to share a trade, and then I'll send you my email and you can email it to me and I'll pull it up in this. All right. So JD. JD and then J. All right, JD, tell us, what are you doing here? Adam. All right. I'm trying out a 1-to-1 partial, but my lowest hotkey is 25%. I think I should only be 10 to 20% for the first partial. All right, I get it right there. 3 wicks off of VWAP. 1, 2, 3 after holding. Look at that. What is this? This is M. Okay. Put your stop right here. Missed entry by 3 cents, which missed my RNR. Okay. I think I hit the hotkey late because I was waiting for more confirmation. Okay. And then on the 5-minute, I saw an ABCD forming, but looked at the 2-minute chart for a better entry and a tighter stop. Love it. A, B, C. Yeah, I see it, JD. Everything here is picture perfect. Okay. There's so many indicators now that I missed in real time. Target. I wasn't looking for a 15-minute reversal setup since there wasn't a doji small candle, but it's basically a 15-minute reversal setup. Yeah, I see it. I mean, JD. This is JD, right? Yeah, I think so. JD, that's an awesome trade. Long above VWAP, waiting for the confirmation to hold. Have a really nice stop using an ABCD 5-minute pattern. Not realizing it now, but right, you're basically in a 15-minute reversal. No new high, boop, new high. Bam, right? So you got that within it. So, and then look, JD. No new 15-minute low. No new 15-minute low until right there. That does not look like a low, right? So it looks perfect. I get that you can execute your partial better for a 1-to-1, reduce it so you have more shares. In this case, it worked out since you partialed out more. You locked in profit. Is this a break even after you partial out? Do you get out at break even, JD? Yeah, Zach, do it. Are people in the chat room hearing me? I don't see anything. And JD. I don't see any comments in the chat right now. Like I'm talking to myself. There we go. So, okay, is JD here? Because I just want to know if this is a get out at break even once you partial out. Maybe he jumped off, but I mean, what do you guys think on this trade? He's using the 2 minute. He's using the 5 minute. He didn't use the 15 minute, but he sees it. He waited for confirmation. He had a specific entry strategy. Like, I love the trade. I absolutely love it. Do you guys see anything that you don't love or that I'm missing here? What do you guys think about it? No one's got anything today. It's all right. Well, I love it. Yeah, Eamon, I agree. I think it's a fantastic trade. Eamon, what do you think? I like the setup. I mean, he traded into the 50 moving average on the 5, which I don't like. But other than that, it's pretty great, pretty clean. So I think it was a great trade, JD. Right. Yeah, and that's a different style. For this style, I think it's an excellent trade that had a really great chance of working out. You don't have a loser from it, and it's a really smart setup. So great job, JD, even though you might not be here. And then Jay. Yeah, Zach, send it over to my email address. That'll be fun. All right, Jay, this was yours. 1 minute, 5 minute. I mean, I see it, Jay. It looks like a really good trade again that just didn't work out. The tops of a VWAP were lower consistently to the penny. I'm not sure if you mean these tops. I think you meant these tops right there. And then you have this top. Yeah, those, I see it. And then that. And then held view up, come back down, bouncing off the moving average. New 5 minute low, rejecting this moving average, thinking it's going to break through VWAP. If you're, so Jay, was it a VWAP breakthrough trade? Hey, Griffin, are you talking about, Griffin on YouTube, are you talking about the last trade? Or this trade? I'm thinking you're talking about the last trade, right, Griffin? Yeah, Jay, I love it. Okay, 5 minute new low, everything you just talked about, breakthrough VWAP, stop right above VWAP. You think it's going to lose it. Again, I think that's a really good trade there. Yeah, got out on the bullish doji. Heck yeah. You get the heck out. You could flip your position, but that's a really hard thing to do for many traders, even for me. So yeah, Jay, I love the trade. This thing's right here. Is that what you're asking? Well, what do we call that? Yeah, that's a hammer to me. I mean, it's not a perfect hammer at the bottom of a trend, but the actual candle shape is a pretty gosh darn perfect hammer, but you just want it to be at the bottom of a trend. And then you get this hammer at the bottom of a trend, it breaks up, and then look, you get that move. But yeah, Jay. Yeah, it's still a bullish hammer, Gary, definitely. It's still a bullish hammer. Personally, I wouldn't take that trade short because of the 5 minute bullish candle. So you're talking about this one, this 5 minute engulfing, and then this 5 minute bullish candle? Slava? Yeah, I see what you're saying, but it's so not a bad point. Once it breaks this, I see it so many times. This could just be a bear flag, and it breaks a new 5 minute low. Everyone needs to get out, but it just didn't work out like that. And so I do see the reality of it could have been a clear winner when people thought it would lose VWAP. It lost the 5 minute. It was rejected by this. So I like it, but Jay, you see, so someone else read it differently, right? Because of this bullish candle. So Slava, what would you have liked to see in like a doji? What if this candle wasn't like this, but it was like a doji instead, like a bullish doji like that? Would that have been a better trade for you once it breaks through? Awesome. Yeah. So I see what you're saying. And that would be a better setup for sure, Slava. That's a really good point. That would make this setup better. Still like the trade, but that would have been an even better entry signal. Hammer tickets in a row. Yep, Ann. Definitely. Okay. I'm just going to pull up this trade. Just trying to go back and forth really quick for some of the YouTube viewers. Griffin. On the last one, yeah, he could have, but what he says is there's so many indicators now that I missed in real time. He didn't see this 15-minute reversal setup, so he couldn't have flipped to it. He only saw it after the fact, and that's the point of journaling, Griffin, and talking with other traders about it. Because now he might notice that for the next time in the future, and he might peek over at the 15-minute chart to realize, well, is this confirming my 5-minute and 2-minute trade? So in this one, he couldn't have done that, but next time, hopefully he will. So that's what I'd say. All right, Zach, thanks. Boom, boom. Nigel. Right, so that's the whole point here. If we all see this, we all have different opinions. We can all learn together and try to become better traders together. And then we got Arthur. Okay. So first, let's do Nigel. And JD, it seemed like I did your review, unless you were just quiet. I tried to call on you a couple times, but you didn't answer, so I'm guessing you stepped away. Sorry about that. So Nigel, strategy was a bit of a reverse ABCD with a flat top on the 1 minute and a doji and a shooting star on the 5 minute. Entry was break of the consolidation. Okay. And this was your Roku trade, right, Nigel? Yeah. Okay. Bit of reverse ABCD with a flat top on the 1 minute. So is it something like an A... It's a little messy, but ABCDs aren't always clean. So that's fine. ABCD, something like that, right? Yeah, it's not the cleanest setup, but Nigel, we don't always get perfectly clean setups. So that's okay. Look at this view app rejection. Oh my goodness. That would be sick. Such a sick trade. All right. And then you go long. Look at that. What else did you say? A shooting star on the 5 minute. Where is the shooting star on the 5 minute? Are you saying this is a shooting star on the 5 minute? Is this the one you're talking about? Right, is this the candle you're referring to as a shooting star? So you're considering this one a shooting star? Okay, got it. So good you say sorta. A shooting star needs to happen at the top of a trend. You can have the same candle at the bottom of a trend or in consolidation, and it's not called a shooting star anymore. But it needs to be at the top of a trend for it to be called a shooting star. Because the idea is you have a bullish momentum in a shooting star, the bullishness continues, and then the bears take over and knock the price down, and it's an exhaustive candle, okay? It means that the bulls are going to lose, and the bears are overtaking the bears, okay? And then once it breaks the 5 minute low, then you have the confirmation for the trend change down. These two candles at the top of a trend, or even at the top of some sort of consolidation, not at the bottom, you could convince me that that's a shooting star. But when they're at the bottom of a trend, yeah. Do people know what it's called at the bottom of a trend? I know what the name is. Anyone know? There is a name, Nigel. Nope, and well, that's the flipped. If it's flipped over like this is a hammerish type candle. But what about the shooting star candle at the bottom of a trend? Right, Jay, reverse hammer or inverted hammer? Same difference. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Got it, Griffin. Yeah, so you see that? I'm looking back at your YouTube comment. Yep, that's exactly right. All right, so now back to your trade though. Entry was the break of the consolidation. I like it. Like, yeah. This is another good trade that just didn't work out. Today was a really hard trade. Right, it's the consolidation right there. Yep, it breaks down. It could very easily break through this double bottom, and you just didn't get the follow through. It came back up to this resistance point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and then you get the move down here that you would have been looking for. So I love the trade, Nigel. Yeah, it's a great trade. I could totally see that going to the low. I could totally see the buyers being exhausted right here and the sellers overcoming, and you had a chance. It was close to being a wonderful executed. You executed it perfectly, I think. It was close to being an awesome winner. Man, we just don't always get the winners on the same setup. Does anyone else see something on here? I like it. You've got the 1 minute. You've got your 5 minute. Even though it's not perfectly clean, it makes a lot of sense. No, and I think this is a good trade. You break of the consolidation. Buyers are exhausted. Sellers overtake it. It could very easily bust through. I see this all the time. Yep, JD. Looks like a descending wedge. I can't even. I'm probably not marking this edge correctly, but wedge, something like that. Like, oh, I mean, right there. Something like that. Maybe. I don't even know. I'm still not anything knowledgeable with the wedge, but I'm going to learn through Thor. The hammer reversal here indicates that it might, right? And exactly. You don't want to see this wick. You would love to see this candle. If this candle was right here, after this breakdown, you would love this candle. You don't love this candle once you're in this trade. You are right, Ann. It doesn't, I wouldn't say go long here because of this candle, but I would say shoot. The buyers showed themselves and they were able to overcome the sellers. Awesome, Nigel. Love the trade, man. That's a good trade. Especially you managed it correctly and you didn't do anything afterwards. It's a really good trade. Yeah, Slav, a really good point there. I see it too. And then Nick from YouTube says, yep, today wasn't too exciting, but the community totally made me sit on my hands when a normal day. I would have probably overtraded early. Yeah, Nick, I left. So I had so much FOMO from today. So many problems today. I had a very small, like a 1 hour day, and I decided like I'm trading horrible. I don't like anything. Nothing's working out, and I just left. I would almost always overtrade, and I just, thankfully, I commented in the chat that I was going to do that. A couple people joined me, and that support helped me to make the right decision and the accountability, so I got the heck out of here. It was a tough day. Awesome conversation here, guys. Okay. Which trade? Who traded this one? This was Arthur. Thanks for sharing, Arthur. I'm not sure if I've seen. Is this your first time that I've seen a trade from you? Maybe your name is vague. First trade that I'm sharing. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. All right. So you've got Netflix. Tell us what you're doing as I get my bearings on this. It's so, just because of the shape, if you want to do this and you can have a different DOS where it's longer like this and not so tall, it'll be easier for me to zoom in and see it, just how the camera works. But it'll do for now. I'm not complaining. You see, I'll just have to zoom in and then move the pages. All right, so Arthur is going in long here. He's got the daily. So the 1 minute looks like it's holding the moving averages and above you up. This has Eamon all over it. I feel like this could be Eamon's trade. Except Eamon would enter in again right there. So let's see what else is happening. It's already looking really smart. Okay. Break out of the consolidation, holding the moving averages. You've got the 30-minute reversal bull flag happening. See it? On the 15-minute chart, yeah, you've still got this holding above and a VWAP. No extremely bullish candles you're trading against. See, and look at this. Just so you can see a shooting star that fails, right? Nothing works all the time. Okay, you get a big pull. You get a potential flag. Then you get a shooting star. It breaks. You have the confirmation, but VWAP, it looks like, is holding it up there. And then once this candle forms, this bullish candle forms, these shooting star traders lost. You want to get the heck out. After a shooting star, you want to see something like this happen right after. If you see something like this happen after this giant candle, is people getting squeezed from trying to short this back down. Yeah, Eamon, I knew you have it. You're all over this one. And look, you have the moving average crossing under this. Heck yeah, Arthur. This, and what do you, sorry, let's make sure you're not confused. This one right here. That's the shooting star, Ann. So do you see it? I'll stay on here to make sure you're not confused about it. Okay. So what are you confused about? You thought a shooting star has to be above the moving averages? So no, a shooting star is just the name of a candle formation. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's just when you see a candle and you want to name that candle, this shape is called a shooting star candle. Now, because it's at the top of not a trend, but after this bullish thing on an overall weak day, and you can see this area right here, you could say that the buyers tried to push it up, the sellers pushed it back down, and now the sellers are going to overcome and it breaks lower. So it's just the name of the candle. It has nothing to do with the moving averages. Exactly, guys. Yeah, Gary. So does that make better sense, Ann? Awesome, Zach. I haven't looked at it yet, but I will. But I Zach from YouTube, I will open it. I think I'm going to have time for sure. Okay, good, Ann. So does Nigel asks, so does a reverse or inverted hammer also indicate weakness like a shooting star? Or does it mean it might be starting to push higher if it's at the bottom of a trend, right? It can be, you can play it both ways. So, and they're just individual candles. You can't trade off a single candle. You can't say there's a shooting star and in a vacuum, I'm going to trade that. There's a inverted hammer and in a vacuum. There's a lot more like how was it made up on the smaller time frames? Where's the VWAP? What's the overall sentiment of the stock? Where's the resistance and support? And if you can include all of those things into one trade with the candle formation, now all of a sudden you have a lot of different things going in your favor. But look, here is two inverted hammers right here. Not really at the bottom of a trend, but it's, you know, down, up, starting to go down again. And then you have one inverted hammer, two inverted hammer. You can see it both ways. It's holding a slightly higher, right? There's slightly higher lows. And you think, well, here's the quadruple bottom on the 15-minute chart. It's going to hold. It can't break it. But then you also have these wicks saying, well, the buyers trying to push it up and the sellers are winning, right? So you can look at it from both ways. And that's why you need risk to reward entries. That's why you need confirmations. That's why you need overall sentiment on how to trade it. And that's why sometimes you wait for candle breaks also. So the strongest candle reversals are the shooting star and the hammer. Okay? Those are the strongest two candles for the price trend change. So now back to his awesome trade, right? You're just going long above VWAP, long after this area of consolidation is breaking, long above the moving averages. I mean, it's a fantastic trade, Arthur. With my entry at 3150, where should my stop loss be at? All right, let's look at the one. So your stop loss, you have different areas to do this, okay? You can do the area of consolidation on the 1 minute chart. You could do the clear support of the 50 swooping up, which looks like this right there. You could do VWAP for a stronger support, which is a little higher risk. And you can do a new 5 minute low, okay? You have all of these different options, okay? Depending on where you define your risk, it changes how you can scale out if you go for a risk to reward. Neither is better or worse. They're just the closer you are to your entry with your stop, the more likely you'll get stopped out, but the easier it is to hit your reward. The wider your stop away is from your entry, the less likely you're going to get stopped out. But if you're smart, you have reduced share size because you don't want to increase your risk, so you have less shares, and thus you need to hold those shares longer to hit your reward. Does that make sense, Arthur? Awesome, so that's what you got to do. Let's go and let's see what JD wrote. The shooting star is a bearish candle that forms after an advance in the stock or index price. Try to think of it in this manner. The price has advanced for several candles or days and tries to continue the advance. It opens and trades higher, creating the tall wick on top of the candle. But then the sellers take over, forcing the price back down to close near the opening price. This is an early indication that the advance has lost its momentum. Technically, according to the above picture, the closing price would need to be below the opening price. However, that is not always the case, which means this could be the open and this could be the close, and this high wick being pushed down still can be a shooting star. Meaning if you simply switch the open and closing prices on the above picture, it would still indicate an early warning for reversal. Maybe just not as pronounced as the close that is lower than the open, but it would still be a warning sign. Yep, exactly. And that's why they talk about several candles. You do want it to be at a trend. You don't want it to, you just don't want to see the candle in the middle of consolidation. It's a lot less meaningful. Thanks, JD. So overall, great trade. Now, how did you partial out on this, Arthur? And on YouTube, do you guys see anything on this Netflix trade? It's a really great trade. This Netflix trade is awesome. He's got a lot going in his favor. The 5 minute, the 2 minute, the 1 minute, the 30 minute, above VWAP. It's a really good trade. First partial 1.5R, and after seeing the rejection of the previous close, sold the rest of the position after viewing the SPY was selling off too. Love it. Heck yeah, Arthur. Everything about that was fantastic. Just note that, you know, where you put your stop dictates how you can get your reward. And as long as you know that, there's no better or worse stops. There's just different styles of stops. But for newer traders, you want to feel good. You want to think you're doing things right. And when you pick the right direction, the perfect trade, but you get stopped out before the move happens, for a more advanced trader, they can accept that a little bit better. For a newer trader, you're like, shoot, 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 and you revenge trade. So in honesty, as you're starting out, wider stops are better for you to get confidence, for you to get winners. Even if the winners are smaller, you'll feel confident, and that's the most important thing. Great trade, Arthur. I'm going to look at these YouTube for a sec. Nick, yep, today wasn't too exciting, but the community totally, yeah, made that. Made 2 trades on JD and said I'm out. Got it. Zach. Marcel, overtraded and hit max loss FML? What's FML? Anyone? I don't know what the FML means. It's probably something really simple. Oh. Oh, sorry, Marcel. Should have waited for SPY double bottom and long above free sale. All right. Yeah, Griffin, it was it was a great entry. Man, I don't know all these slangs. Han, a really good yeah, Tin. I'll show it. That's funny. Thanks, Tin Lan Chu. That's fine. Um Under a rock. That's where I've been. How much should your max loss per day be? Han, just it's really hard. It's very personal, but somewhere between 1 and 2% of your account as a max loss is a general guideline. That doesn't mean you have to trade until you hit max loss. It simply means if you're having the worst day possible, you have to stop when you hit that. It does not mean you have to trade until you hit it. And that's where traders really get into trouble. They think their max loss is their ending point. No. It's like their disaster. It's like, in case of an emergency and you're blowing up, stop at 1 to 2%. That's what that means. No, per day. Make your max loss. You don't want your max loss 1 per 2% per trade. That's a pretty big trade each time. Like, you know, you get 5 bad trades and you're already at 5 to 10% of your entire account. That'd be pretty hard. Max loss should be for the day. You don't want to lose 5 to 10% of your whole account in one day. All right, Vic. Vic, are these 2 different trades? Let's see. We've got Uber. And we've got AMD. Yep, 2 different trades. All right, let's see what we got here. A lot. I'll just say way too much. Over, like my account size has been like really big before and really small before. I've done different things to try to limit certain things. Like I've used the PDT rule in the past as a buffer where once you go under the PDT rule, like when I had very little control over my emotions and I was hulking out a lot and losing a lot of money, I realized the PDT rule is its own inherent risk control for someone like me that couldn't control my losses during that time. So I would have a much smaller account closer where if I lost $3,000, it would kick me out. It would stop me. So I couldn't lose $8,000. But it was much more than 5%, much more than 10% of my account in one trade for sure. I mean, in one day for sure that I've lost. It's not fun. Not fun at all. Yeah. Yeah, Slava. Okay, Vic, let's do it. Thank you, Vic, for sharing for the first time. We appreciate it. Awesome. Okay, let's look at, do we want to look at AMD first? Perfect. AMD. Walk us through this. I took AMD short. Added once it broke the previous 5-minute candle body. Short. Body, so he's trading off the body, not the wicks, which is awesome. Okay, short, break it, start to partial. Now these are pretty tight partials, Vic. Oh, so 1R. If you're getting out at 1R, heck yeah, then that's not too tight. If that's your strategy, Vic, does your strategy dictate you get out at 1R? Trying for 2R, got it. But is 1R in the realm of what you've been doing and is that part of your plan? Okay, got it. So this wasn't like a scalp in terms of you just like got in, got out really quick. You did wait for your 1R, correct? Okay, awesome then. Then I can handle, this one is a perfect exit. Now what about this one? This exit I can't understand automatically. So walk me through this one, Vic. Get out at 1-to-1. Keep to your original stop or change your stop to break even. Okay, you got too excited. Got it. Now, once you get out on your first partial or your second excited partial, where is your stop loss at that point? Do you keep to your original? Or do you move to break even? Which would be somewhere there. I moved to break even. Awesome. So your break even was right here. Get out more. Is this a 2-to-1 or a 2.5-to-1, or was it just a exit? Yeah, heck yeah, Vic. Stop watching the 1 minute. Because look what's really happening. Can someone tell me what's actually happening on the 1 minute? Great 2R. Yeah, Han. Hopefully it's Han and not Han. Han, is it Han? Type 1 for Han or 2 for Han? 1, Han. Yeah, okay. Yeah, are you from Germany? Han. Hong Kong. Okay, Han. All right, there you go. Sorry. All right, Han. Right, it's just consolidating below the moving average. Well, no, it's trending down this moving average. People are shorting, right? This is just a moving average trend trade right there. Finally, when you get a little mini hammer, test moving average, finally hold, and now make a new high. Look at that. This was your flip, right? Right, Victor? Or Vic? Okay, guy, well, it's not up here, so oh, the 2 minute, right? Get out, flip right there, right? Yeah, heck yeah, look at that. I see it. See, that's a great flip. It's a really great trade. So we need to stop focusing on all the gyrations on the 1 minute. Look at slightly larger time frames. Look for setups. And yeah. Fantastic trade. I liked it. Now, they're very short-term trading, and you have to be careful when you are getting in and out multiple times over the course of 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds. But still, you executed your plan pretty great here and was reading this right with accurate trading. So I like that a lot, Vic. Really good. JD asked, did the second 5-minute candle scare you from going short? Are you talking about this one, JD? Who knows what Jeremy Newsom would call this candle? Do you guys know the name? High wave, right, JD? Yeah, he calls it the high wave candle. He would go short here, put his stop here, potentially. Not saying he would actually do this trade because we would need him here, but it's a high wave candle. Put his short here. He has really large stops, and he would have been, I don't know if he ever would have been stopped out. It would have been gosh darn close. He would have hit his reward, but I don't know if he would have been stopped out or not. So, Vic, can you answer JD's? Did that second 5-minute candle scare you from going short or not? No, it's just the high wave candle doesn't have to be at the open. It's just this type of candle. It's better at the open because it marks significant momentum one way or another for Jeremy. So he wants to see that volatility. But no, it doesn't have to be right at the open. Okay, so you see JD, Vic sees it as a pullback, which means he sees it as a better entry. Now, Tin from YouTube asks, what is the confirmation for short on this trade? The red line, which I'm assuming to be the moving average. So what was your confirmation here? Maybe you don't have a confirmation, right? You wait for the pullback. You get an awesome entry. So Tin from YouTube. He's waiting for the pullback. We talk about not trading breakouts. Not because it's bad, just because a different style is to wait for the pullback because it greatly reduces your risk and you're buying near the resistance. And so for Vic, I waited for the pullback above VWAP was my stop. So he didn't wait for the confirmation of like a new 1 minute low or something on the time and sales. It looks like he waited for the wave, waited for the pullback, entered here, put the stop. Is the red line VWAP here? Maybe Tin's asking about the previous. Oh, the red line. Yeah. So the red line is VWAP. So stop somewhere right about here. So really tight stop, which is pretty difficult to do, but it worked out this time. Just be mindful of that, Vic. And then adding in, partial out on the way down. So that's the answer to your question, Tim. No real confirmation on this trade. And it's hard if you're waiting for the pullback and you want the best entry possible. It's hard to it's harder to wait for that confirmation. Heck yeah, Vic. Okay, Vic, I'm gonna go over this one quicker now, and I'm gonna try one YouTube trade. Is whoever sent it, Zach? Are you still here? You could have bailed, I know, but we'll get to it, Zach. Got it, Vic. All right, that was your stop. Got it. All right, let's quickly do this one. Actually, Vic, are you okay with me just getting into the Facebook one since we got one from you? I mean the YouTube one. I'm really curious. Thank you, Vic. Thank you so much. Just for fun here, first time. I have no idea. It could be like RSIs and Bollinger Bands and stuff that we don't do a lot with. I'm like, oh shoot, you got to teach us then. Well, we'll see what this looks like. Okay, so it was the second one. Okay, let's download, and we'll have all of you guys do it with me. All right, this will be fun. And then Nick might have sent one also. We'll see if I can get to Nick. Oh man, I closed my YouTube room. I gotta open it up. Drats. Why did I do that? That's okay. Live now. Alright. Alright, Zach. So there, I accidentally closed the room. Sorry. So, Zach. Let's see what Zach did, traders. You can all see this. He's using DOS. He's got Apple on the 1 minute. And kind of type in what you're doing, Zach. Yeah, I know, right? It's 12 seconds. It's not a 1,000,000-minute delay. All right, so as he's typing it in YouTube, I'll kind of read it out loud. Looking at an opening range breakout on the 5 minute. He then has an A, B, C, D potential after that. So he's got two strategies here. I see this moving average kind of swooping in, it looks like. He saw the wedge on the 1 minute. Ooh, right? Something like here's his wedge entry. Eamon, this is almost one of Eamon, it's not crystal clear ABCD pattern, but look, 5 minute ORB that has an ABCD or a wedge on the 1 minute above VWAP. I know you like that. Yeah, so Zach, I know Eamon loves this type of trade. 90% out at resistance. Heck yeah, Zach. I did something like this traders today where I had a killer trade and I got out only 25% at the clear level of resistance. It was such a great entry, such a great execution, and I should have partialed out 90% at the resistance. Because sure enough, it was like, here is my entry. My exit was right up here, right at the moving average, and then it was the high of day, and it just dumped after it, and I only got 25% of the move, and I was really bummed. That wasn't a smart exit with the percent. So really great job getting out heavy there. And then stop out, enter back in, bam, 90% out. Maybe that was 90% on this one, wasn't, but I still see it. Yeah, I see it, Zach. So first trade, the wedge on the 1 minute, get out. Stop out at break even. Second trade, ABCD on the 5 minute, right down here. Heck yeah. All right, traders in our room, do you guys see anything? They look like two pretty good trades. Clear setups. You have those moving average resistance in the way, which I personally don't like, as you know. But do you guys see anything else? It looks pretty interesting to me and pretty clear and pretty clean, actually. Eamon, this has you written all over it. Do you got anything? Yeah, Zach. See, I love that, Zach, that you got out 90% at the resistance. I didn't do that today, man. I wanted a bigger move. You read that chart perfectly. So Eamon, you see Eamon's comment there, Zach, on the left. He's a moderator with us, and he loves doing a 5-minute ORB that has an ABCD on the 1-minute chart. And I know you didn't mark an ABCD on the one, but he also trades wedges also. So even though I don't know for sure, I could see that Eamon would like a wedge, just like he likes the ABCD on the 1 minute. Yeah, heck yeah. And look, I mean, it failed. Like, it tried to break it, but it did break it a little bit, but it couldn't break it with much momentum. Does anyone else see anything? This was Apple, Anne. That's Apple. So yeah, Zach, I like it. Really good. I would do the same thing if I think of it like this, Zach. If you would have like been sitting right next to me and you could have paused the market and you could have told me this is what you were thinking, because the moving average was right there, I might not have gone in with you, but that would have been the only reason I wouldn't have, and I would almost be like, yep, I'm jumping in on this with you, man. This is a good trade. I see it. Right, Eamon? It's a good setup. This could be Peter's V-up lightning bolt. I didn't see this Wednesday workshop, man. You're talking about lightning bolts and stuff, and I don't get to know what you're talking about? That's no fun. Okay, let's look at one more. And I'm not gonna say anything about this one. This is from Nick. I'll kind of read what he put in the email. I don't want to share his email. That probably would be a bad idea. Like accidentally sharing it. All right. Don't judge the Thinkorswim platform. Working on getting DOS. Yeah, no judging. A lot of people use Thinkorswim. I'm just not familiar with it. So it's harder for us to understand and read. His long was at 29.97. We love TOS? I don't know about that one, Carlos. That's a bit of an overstatement. So, long 29.97. Is this blue dot the long? I'm thinking that's the long. Is that right? The stop was 29.79. Below VWAP. Okay, so this pink line must be VWAP. The planned exit was 30.30, which was right here. So okay, I get it. The true exit, but he got out actually here at 30.07. All right. So his question is, would you have held? And I think the point, man. And I think the point of Nick's question is, it never hit his stop. Should he wait for his reward, knowing that it's, what is this? This is the 5-minute chart. So he already, wait, 1 minute. Yeah, so he already waited maybe like 20 minutes to get out here for this small profit. So what do you guys think? Should he wait for his stop in this? He's got his clear target that it eventually hit an hour later. He got his clear stop that it never hit. It never hit his original stop, but he got out early. So Nick, why did you get out early? Was it just the time frame? Was it just the length of time that you had to be in the trade? And members from our room, what do you guys think about that? You're in the trade, you've got your stop, you've got your target. He got out well before the target. Should he have waited, is the question. Because he said, okay, he's saying he got out because of the engulfing red candle on the 5-minute. So, okay, so this probably just isn't marked in the perfect place right here. So he got out somewhere in here because of this engulfing candle, is this point. All right, Nick, so you can see the comments in our room. There's just a little delay. Maybe JD says maybe wait to see if there's a double top. Eamon said, I wouldn't get out right where he put the next dot, but definitely would get out 20 minutes later because it looks like the double top on the 5 minute. Right, like right there. And the dot wasn't correct, Eamon. He got out right here, Eamon. Which is maybe what you were saying you could have gotten out. So Eamon's saying that, yeah, he would have gotten out with you, Nick. Got it, Aramis. Goose earnings report. Oh, I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. Yeah, so and Anne from our room says she would have gotten out because of the engulfing. Recording Carlos. He said he would have got out there too. So you have two different ideas here, Nick. Number one, once you get in the trade, you can continue to read the charts and candles and be like, all right, I want to continue to analyze this. The other way to trade, which Robert had talked about, Robert a lot, he's a great trader from our room, had talked about for a while in the recent past about getting in the trade. Once you're in the trade, you take your hands away from the computer and you are happy to get stopped out because you're so happy with your trade and you're happy to hold however long you need to hold because it's such a valid setup that you've studied and you're no longer scared of over analyzing the price action in the moment. You just wait. You wait for your stop or you wait for your target. One is not better than the other. You just have to find what works best for you. So you can never listen to someone who said like, yeah, no, that's a bad decision in terms of when you have multiple options that you can pick based on how you want to trade. For me, the only way I could have not got stopped out is if I set limit and range orders and left the house because I don't want to be staring at something for that long. So I would have got out maybe because of the time, not because of the candle. So Anne is saying, yeah, so what if you're ultra confident in being in the trade? You don't care about getting stopped out, and thus you don't want to overanalyze because you have your original trade idea that worked. And that's the thing. Your original trade idea actually worked. Vic, the good title for the book, write that book and answer the question. And you'll be very, very, very successful. Thanks, Carlos. The AMA, yeah. And Vic, it's actually a good question. I'm just joking. We could talk about it more, but I've got another meeting I need to get to very soon after this, so I don't want to get into that, but it's a fantastic question. Why is it so hard to take a loss? It's so hard to take a loss. One reason is, from a psychological perspective, Vic, if you think of this as your work, what other work profession do you go into it and then you come out that same day or the same hour and you're down money? Like, that's not what we go to work for, to give our money away. So it's incredibly hard to take that loss. Yeah, entrepreneurs for sure, Ann, and that's a hard thing too. Sales, I don't think you actually lose money. You just don't make money, right? It's not like they take money out of your bank account. And that would be a really tough sales job if they did just take it out. If you messed up or didn't make the sale. Not only do you not get the income, they take it out. Yeah, Zach, thank you guys all so much. Good trade review today. People in our chat, stay in the room for a quick second here. And then YouTube traders, thanks so much, everyone. We'll do it again in the future. Yeah, just hold on 1 sec, Adam. Wait, like seriously 1 minute for me, if you can.